looks like we're on YouTube. Let me check this. And do you have a laptop in front of you too?
Yes.
Okay, we are on. Let me make sure there's sound. Let me check this. Okay. Oh, we don't have game time because I'm not on it. Okay. All right, we're on.
All right.
All right, welcome to, I think, the last stream of the week. Unfortunately, I got some stuff to do over lunch tomorrow. My name is Seth Tower Hurd. This is the Adulting Gamer. I play over my lunch hour here in corporate America in St. Louis, Missouri, and have hopefully some decent conversations to help you out along the way. Melvin Taylor is a New York City based media personality and is actually one of my former students because I taught college, which is one of the most rewarding and worst paying things I've ever done in my life. I mean, dude, Uber paid better. Like, it just, teaching college just does not, oh, it was really bad. Oh, man. Okay, I don't know if you can see my screen. I'm like, they threw, like, it unsaved into the thick of it. Oh, no, these are good guys, not bad guys. Okay, I might have to listen to a couple of, I gotta go destroy some boats. That's what I'm doing. Okay, man, so let's start with where you are now. We'll work back a little bit. So you are in New York, and you took the big risk. You moved out there. It takes a lot to do that, man. It just does. So, and you're doing radio part time. You're doing stuff full time. Like, tell me about kind of what it looks like right now. Um,
Best way that I can put it is that it's looking very open right now in terms of figuring stuff out as best I can. Like you just mentioned before, I was doing the radio part time. Like I still go up there and do that, go check in on the station, do shows every single week. And then full time was working for a digital company that has since liquidated some of the stuff here in the States. And right now, just really saying, you know what, I've got this time to really have a lot of fun on YouTube. So planning out a lot of things that I want to do on YouTube and have the most fun that I can during this free period that I've been calling it that I have. And also I'm doing the sketch and improv comedy in the city. So trying to
really?
incorporate as much of that as possible into my, I've been doing improv for about 2.5, almost 3 years now. And I've been doing sketch on a more serious basis since like March of this year. Joined a sketch team at the Magnet Theater, and our team name is called House Party. We perform once a month on Sundays here in New York. And for the improv and some sketch, I'll perform at UCB both here in New York and in LA when I'm out there. So yeah.
Okay, dang, man. So I definitely would. There we go. I just took out like a crazy dude. I would say I definitely like. It's one of those things I always play with, the whole kind of stand-up comedy thing, but it doesn't do me any good right now. And there's a lot of things I would have, that I would have made room for in my 20s that I just can't get done now. But that's one of those ones I'm like, well, maybe that'll come back around at some point in my life. Just because I don't know, it just won't leave. I do think there's something about growing up blue collar, growing up in kind of an area where people gotta scrape a little harder to make it. That people just wind up being funnier. Because like you got to find the bright side of life. Is to where I hang out with like a lot of these like. Now it's like sometimes I hang out with professional contacts or whatever. It's like, well, did you read the New Yorker? And I'm like, no, I play Xbox.
So man, if I even if I had time, I'd probably still be playing something on my phone.
Well, no, it's not that I'm not about being well read or whatever, but it's like, good lord, like how like serious do we have to be on a Friday night? It's
Right,
like
like
just
everything, yeah, like it's not right, especially on a Friday night. Like maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, okay, cool, we can get that off. But Friday night, come on, bro, like, who are you really?
yeah. Let's hang out, not be like this.
Right.
Okay, so and that's how old are you again, man? You mind my asking?
No, I'm 27.
You're 27. Oh, that's good. The one of the things I said is I wish I would have changed jobs more, taken more risks, and gotten fired faster in my 20s. And in my 30s, I'm actually good with a little less risk because of the fact that I just, it's a different life, you know.
Yeah, yeah, I can definitely believe that. It's kind
You
of
know.
like even at this point, I can kind of I start to see some of that at this point in my life and being like, okay, I know that this is the time for me to really say I can go out here, I can take these risks right now, I can do these things because come 6, 7 years from now, I'll be in position at like 33, 34, where I'm like, you know what, man, I kind of really need to see what's up and what I'm doing, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, man. So you got laid off. You're hustling job market right now. What's that look like for you? Like as far as like where who are you reaching out to? Are you able to go to events?
Oh, sure. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh no, go for it.
Definitely going to as many events right now as I can. Even today, I've got something that one of my like favorite music people turn like techies, Ryan Leslie, has an event later on this evening that I'm going to be popping up to. So I'm super excited about that. But doing my best to fill my days with like, all right, during the morning and the afternoon, if I'm not doing something YouTube related, or yeah, if I'm not doing something YouTube related, then I am doing something related to my radio show and how to grow that and make that as good as it can on the on-air side, but also on the business side as well. Um, and in my evenings, if I'm not going somewhere like on an interview or going out on an audition, like going to events to go and network and meet more people, because you never know who you're gonna meet, especially with like New York, like as big of a city as it is, when you really like tap into certain niches, it can become really, really small
Yeah,
really quick.
yeah,
So it's really just about going out there and just putting my best foot forward every single time I can. But man, I'm out here hustling, just doing all of that. Been in touch with a few temp agencies as well. Sent my stuff out to a couple. We'll have my stuff together now that I'm going to send to some headhunters too to see what's going on, just to be like, yo, let me see the entire scope, so that way I know which direction I should move forward with.
yeah. Well, I tell you what, man, it's very tough, especially in a major city, to save any money.
Oh,
But like, it's really tough to just make it right.
yeah,
And people are like, oh well, it's because you're, you know, trying to live high on the hog. A lot of it is not. It's just everything costs money. Everything costs money.
literally.
You know, literally
I
every.
say all the time. When I first moved here, I was like, milk is $6, $7. Why is milk this expensive
Wow.
in certain stores? Like I don't. That makes no sense to me. So and that's when I knew I was like, oh, I'm not in Chicago anymore. Like I can't say Kansas because I'm not from Kansas, but I'm not in Chicago anymore. This is okay. All right, I'm really here. But yeah,
Yeah. You know, and so there's stuff, but you know, like a lot of people kind of get this mentality of like, you know, oh man, I'm always gonna have these jobs that don't pay that well, and then they get one, and the thing is, like I saw friends after college, it's like they get an okay-ish job and they buy a Beamer that they can barely afford, and you know what? Like kick that can down the road for a few years and just get yourself 3 months of expenses saved up because you will sleep so much better at night.
yeah, yeah. I 100% agree. There are a few friends that I've had in that same situation where I noticed right after college, it was like, oh man, they got everything, they got the life, they're balling, and then you see like a year later, and it's like I don't see any more pictures or any more updates. Like what's going on there? And I always looked at it from an aspect of if you're living in a place where you can afford that lifestyle, and it's not that much for you, and your cost of living is cheap, then live your life. But if that's not somewhere where you are, you kind of putting that on to show people like, oh, this is me, this is who I am, when it's really not. It's gonna do nothing but catch up to you in the long run.
Yeah. I mean, and there are definitely a decent number of people. Yeah, I'm in one of the more. I work in one of the close to a lot of affluent areas in St. Louis.
Hmm.
There are definitely people in the low to mid six figures who are breathing right next to broke. They just have really nice stuff, but they're stressed all the time. And it's like, you know what? Like, I would rather. Well, first of all, I try to be really chill on just like how I present myself. Like, I literally basically tell people I'm a janitor. I let them think that. I don't tell them that. So I work in ag marketing. And if I think somebody's trying to like gauge me, like kind of size me up, and they ask me what I do, I always say, so I work in digital marketing. And I always say, you know, I kind of do like a maintenance type thing for an ag company. I'm not gonna say that at work where I gotta like it's a work thing where I gotta actually talk to people,
Yeah,
but somewhere where it's like I feel like somebody's trying to like size me up. Like, what can you do for me? Like,
yeah.
I'll hang out with you if you serve a purpose in my life.
If there's a benefit, yeah,
I just let them think like, you know, I let them think whatever. I am perfectly happy driving a 10-year-old Honda with 150,000 miles on it for another 150,000 miles if it makes it. Like, I'm good because I'm not stressed. you
yeah,
know,
yeah. I
um,
find that a lot while I'm here too. That you'll find a lot of people that like are making a lot of money, but are stressed beyond belief, and it's like I don't. That's not the lifestyle that I want, nor that I want to subscribe to. Like I know a couple people that work in finance that like when I do get to hang out with them, like living it up, partying, having a good time, but they're never home. Why are they never home? Because they're working 18 hours, take a nap at work, and then just pop right back up and go to work again. And then on the weekends they're like home for a day, and then they're like, oh, I got to go back into the office and catch up. And I'm like, I can't. Why are you doing this to yourself? Why? It doesn't make any sense to me.
yeah,
Paying for an apartment that's sucking up all your money. Like, come on, man.
no. Um, oh, there we go. I blew up a boat. That was one of my goals for this mission or whatever. And then I'm on fire.
Oh,
Now I gotta go jump and literally like jump in a lake. Like when people say that's an insult, I just actually had to do it.
you
Uh,
actually have to go do it.
yeah. um, so no, I mean it sounds like you got a pretty good spot there. What kind of gigs are you looking for when when you're looking for a new job right now? You said hitting up temp agencies. Like, have you thought about trying to add a new skills that could differentiate you, or how you doing with that, man?
Good point. I think right now one thing that I really want to do is since I'm doing YouTube and I do the videos at the radio show, whenever I'm there on a weekly basis, I really want to become as efficient and proficient as possible in editing, just because I'm always using the Adobe programs anyway. So it's like if I can like really narrow these things down and really become like a good editor, then I would be extremely happy, and that would be something that would be amazing to be able to add to my resume, as well as like learning some Photoshop here and there too. Because nowadays it seems like at least on a lot of the jobs that I would apply for, it's kind of like a prerequisite to say, oh, you need to be good at editing, and you have to be good at Photoshop, and you got to do this, and you got to do that. So I'm like, those are always the skills that I'm like, I can do everything else except those. I
Yeah,
just can't do those. So adding those in would be one way to be able to do it. Outside of that, man, to be completely honest, I've been pretty open about what my next opportunity would be, whether that's working in sales like I have, where I've done some marketing stuff, but I've also done some PR stuff as well, or see like, all right, how can I make radio be full time all the time type of gig as well? And if those aspects are there, then putting those pieces to the puzzle and making it work. So I wouldn't say there's one specific thing where I'm like, that's what I want. I mean, unless somebody's gonna come to me and say, hey, we're gonna help you be the next Will Smith, then cool. But
yeah.
it's like, all right, let's just see what happens. I don't want to turn my nose up at everything. I'll go on interviews. I'll listen to see what people have to say, and then just decide from there what is going to be best for me moving forward.
Yeah. By the way, I got to read a comment real quick as
Please
I
do.
walk. I was blessed to be able to pay 8 grand for 2014 Focus paid cash. I'm going to drive it till it dies. Like
Nice.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah, still trying to get out of debt. Me too. Still trying to pay off some school. That is life right now.
I feel that.
So let's talk about the radio world because I haven't been in it in a bit. Like, I mean, I had a radio station as a client for a while, but that hasn't been my occupation for a while. And it's funny because, like, mentality wise, I guess I am so niche. Like, as far as my kind of everything habits, like listening habits, podcasts, music, everything. I'm somebody that like watches like tons of tech review videos on stuff I'm never gonna buy just because I don't know, I like staying up on things, right?
Yeah,
So obviously you're in New York. Charlemagne the God, the Breakfast Club is crazy huge,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Like monumental in terms of the radio world for sure. In
Yeah,
terms of everything in general nowadays, since things are blending together so much, but definitely in the radio world, yeah.
yeah. He got his start working totally for free. He worked for Wendy Williams. I think he was a co-host. He was on the air and not getting paid, and like that's how he got it done. Which that's a crazy that's a crazy way to break in, man. I mean, you got to go have a whole other job in fast food or something while you're on this big show, and they're like, "Oh, we can't pay you," right?
100%. I
And
went through his book, and I know that I think at the time he was able to make it because he was like living on Wendy's couch or something like that because her ex husband and him used to be cool on a certain extent or something like that. But yeah, man, it's just when I hear stories like that, and then I'm moved here or when I got here, and then I'm being here and being like, all right, if this is what it takes, then I got to figure out how to make this happen.
yeah, um, by the way, I don't recommend trying to live on your boss's couch. That's weird.
Yeah,
A little too weird for my.
that was something where it was like, that's a you situation, and that is not going to be a me situation. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, I agree there. So you but you got the right mentality that like you're out there. That's the thing. Most people are like, oh, I gave it 6 months, and the whole thing. They call Nashville a 10-year town because of the fact that it just takes a while to get you going, right? Like it takes a while to become a songwriter, an artist, or whatever. I don't know how many people go to New York for 6 months and quit. And I mean, to be transparent, I probably would never go to New York just because it's too much city for me. Like I'm definitely more of a mid-sized city type of person, right? Um, but oh, I blew myself up. Oh well,
Oh,
it happens. Uh, I still got 20 minutes left to finish this mission and get back to work. But are you, what I'm trying to say is, I guess what has kept you committed? Did you just say you were going to go try it? Um,
yeah, the thing for me, like initially I wasn't even going to move to New York. Initially I was going to move to LA because I went to go visit a friend out there, and I was like, oh, I'm going to visit LA for the first time. Like, let's see what happens. And I went out there, and it was just like the most amazing thing. And I was like sleeping on my buddy's couch, being out there and just like walking around and being out. I was like, oh my god, like I would work at Target just to live out here. Like this is great. So when I moved back home, well, not moved, but when I flew back home, I remember I started saving up and was saying, all right, like even if I gotta work at Target, I'm gonna do whatever because I just want to live out there. So I'm start saving up for a year. Then I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna make it happen. And 2 months into me saving is when the New York call and job offer and all of that happened. So it was like, well, I guess I'm going to New York first. And through some of the through some of the experiences that I've had here, at least for me being in the entertainment space and wanting to do more within it, the thing that I learned is that it probably was for the betterment of me to come here because it's a lot better to go somewhere, make a name for yourself, especially somewhere like New York, so that way people ask questions and they've heard about you and they know about you. People are more willing to give you a chance on opportunities versus just going out somewhere. Like, say for example, had I gone to LA and I'm just like, hey, I just moved here. I want to do this. I want to do this, and they're like, we never heard of you. We don't know who you are. You don't have anything. X, Y, Z. So I really just kind of buckled down a little bit more here and said, you know what? I'm giving myself a good 4 years in New York and see what happens. I just crossed my 4 years a couple months ago, and I actually had that reevaluation period to say, okay, I've started to do a lot here. I feel as if I have built somewhat of a base, but I really want to push it for however many more months that I listed down at the time to say, let's see where I am at the end of this sprint. And then if I am in a place where I want to be and those things are beginning to happen for me, then I can look at realistically when am I going to make that next step that's going to be for my life and my career. But till then, let me really be here and figure it out because if I can make it happen here, everywhere I go, I know I'll be able to make it happen. So that's
yeah.
kind of
Well, and there's two ways those stories cut, right? There's people who quit just before they make it, and then there's people who are not self-aware enough to know they probably aren't going to make it.
yeah,
And I mean, I would put you in the not definitely not in the category of like, oh, I don't think you could do this. I mean, I've told a lot of people, I'm like, I don't think this is the lane for you. But I mean, you're definitely not one of those people. But it's it's more the and I mean, and you've got a decent resume. You've done some good music stuff already on the in that space and everything. So it's not like you're just going in cold. Like, have you been out there? How long you been out there now?
I've been out there 4 years and a couple months.
Okay. So how do you tell people, like, how do you differentiate yourself from the other, like, a million other people that are trying to do interviews, trying to do the media thing, trying to get noticed in that way?
Well, I would say my main differentiator is that you do have a lot of people that will do, oh, I have a podcast, I do this, I do that. But from what I've seen, nobody really has a combination of things that I do, and nobody can really reach the different audiences that I can in the ways that I do. So I don't really see anybody that's having full on music, movie, and also like comic book and sports conversations on YouTube as frequently as I do, and as engaging as I do, because I'll really get into it and be passionate about it. At the same time, I can take those conversations and have those on air and have those with different audience where I'm reaching upwards of 2 to 3 million people within the New York City area from doing my radio show. As in, I got truck drivers in New Jersey that are calling in or telling me that they're listening in to my show, as well as people that are in like upstate New York and then all around the city. But at the same time, I can really go on stage and say, okay, I can not only learn scripts, memorize those, and perform them as sketches, but you can give me a random word like now, like boat, and we can go on stage and improv an entire 30-minute show off of the word boat and just go from there. And I will normally see people that will stay to one specific lane, and granted to them, more often than not, those are the times where success does come a lot easier and a lot quicker. Not to say easy in terms of, oh, it's cute, that's easy to be able to do it, but because you're doing one specific thing and people will remember you for that, it's a lot more. I'm misremembering the word that I want to find, but because you can be found for doing that specific thing, your pathway to success can become a little bit more unclogged than what someone in my situation will be. But because I can do all those things as well, if not better, than some of the people that only do those one specific things, I think that can really put me on a platform to be in a different space than everybody else.
Let's talk about networking for a minute, because in a bigger city, I do feel like it's harder. That a lot of people just feel like, oh, well, you're trying to climb the ladder.
Hmm.
Are you real or not? Like, how have you? And you said, but New York can get really small, right? So how have you made it small?
Honestly, just how we were talking earlier and going out and networking and really doing my best to create genuine connections with people. Like when you first move to some of these bigger places, there is a facade with a lot of people where it's kind of like, what can you do for me in terms of us meeting up and talking to each other? But that's just not me whatsoever, and I've been here long enough to be able to reach the point, and sometimes I'm speaking with people where I can see those characteristics or those things or those qualities, and I'm like, okay, this isn't somebody that I really want to connect with on that level. And then when I do come across the genuine people, I'm like, this is somebody this is cool. This is somebody that, hey, we can hang out independently of what we're doing in the business and still have a good time. This is somebody that I do want to connect with and be able to build with. Yeah, they may not be the person that's making the decisions today, but tomorrow, next week, a month from now, a year from now, they could be the person that makes the decision that could be the difference in my career and many other people's careers. So those are most of the people that I want to be aligned to versus, oh, this person is hot right now and they have everything going for them. Let me attach myself to them and then see what happens with that. Because I just feel that's very fickle of people to be able to do. But really just putting your best foot forward and going out and speaking to people and not being scared to do it. Because you'll get a lot of people that will come out here and will put themselves out there for a couple months, for a couple weeks, or a couple times, and that'd be it. You really gotta have that. It's kind of like a shooter's mindset if you're playing in basketball, where it's like, oh, I missed that shot, or I airballed that shot, but I gotta keep going because there's still a game to play. It's the same aspect in terms of going out and networking. Yeah, this one didn't work out. Who's to say that the next one won't? I still have to go out there and meet people. At the same time, I just don't want to be stagnant in terms of my personality, my maturation, and my growth overall in life. I want to meet as many people, as many diverse people as I possibly can.
Yeah, and I think that people kind of wonder about, like, I heard on a podcast with a country radio host named Bobby Bones
Yep.
talking about different people he's connected to or whatever, and a songwriter was on with him, was talking about, like, oh, have you kept in touch with this person, this person, this person, and oh, I'm gonna try to hand grenade this dude.
Nice. Do it. Do it.
Oh, come on. How do Oh, I got him.
There we go.
There we go. Did you see it or no?
Yes. No, I did
Okay, yeah.
I fully support you. Don't get me wrong.
Well, anyway, the on the podcast it said uh, that it's like the song I was talking about writing with Luke Bryan. He's like, oh, so do you call him up to work again? And he's like, well, no, because he was already Luke Bryan when I met him. Um, um, most of the people that are that I've been able to stay up with, they have that I know that are doing big things. It's because I met him before they were doing big things.
Yeah.
Um, and just this idea that like, and you want to be networking with people when they're on the downslope, right? So like I know a guy that just got cut from an NFL team. He played. He had played previously. Had a decent career. I mean, people don't realize NFL usually only lasts about 3 years for most people. So that's it. That's all you get. Save your. I mean, you go back to saving your money.
Right.
Save your money, right? Oh man, my helicopter's about to get shot down, man. I am in trouble. Can I land? I do have a parachute. Oh, I got a parachute. Get out, get out, get out, get out. Nope. Oh, nope. Nope. I forgot I had a parachute. I could have jumped out. Um, but the time when people are down, like to me, is like really, and it's not like I hit you up because I'm like, well, maybe if I talk to you about finding a job, and then you get a big job, then you'll give me money to do something. It's just like if you want to really build solid relationships, reach out when you see people are laid off. Reach out when you see people are going through whatever. As opposed to trying to hit up random NFL player when they're at the height of their career. Like you don't have anything to offer them. I mean, unless you do have the biggest media platform or something like that. Like, be humble. Be aware of where you are at. Would be a good way to say it.
Yeah. 100%.
And don't bother people after that. I guess.
And sometimes if you do your best to connect with somebody or to network with somebody, and the follow up isn't there on that side, sometimes you got to be willing to walk away and just be like, it's okay. Like, everything isn't for everybody. That's perfectly fine.
Okay, I died. I came back. I parachuted, and then I put on a wingsuit. And I'm trying to like outrun this thing. Nah, I still died. Oh well. I got like 6 minutes left before I gotta go back to work anyway. But I mean, this has been cool, man. Hopefully, this hasn't been too meandering for you. People are like, well, how do you have good conversations and play? I'm like, well, I don't play that well for one.
That's funny. No, it's been a lot of fun, and no, it wasn't too meandering. I very much appreciate it. Thank you for please go.
Yeah, man. Well, and if you stick around for 5 more minutes, if you can't, that's okay. But
Definitely.
um, I bailed out of the chopper before it got shot down this time. By the way, are you gonna go see Joker this weekend?
You know what? I think I may go squeeze that in at some point because I've been a little I don't know, but I've heard some good things. I've heard some not so good things. But I don't want to be somebody that's like, oh, somebody said it's bad, so I'm not gonna go see it. I actually just did that with Brad Pitt's movie at Asher. Brad Pitt owes me $17.50, but I'm going to take this chance on Joker and see how it is because I want to see what the follow-up is.
I think Todd Phillips is a really interesting director. I forget what else he's done, but it made me excited to know. I'm like, oh, that dude's done that, and this makes me want to see it. I don't know how you talked about comic books. I don't know how you ever put the DC universe like back together. Because like Aquaman was awesome, but this is not the same feel. So are they just gonna do a bunch of one-offs, and that's fine? Because it's kind of sad to like not connect the universe.
I think
Um,
my big thing with them, or at least what I see them attempting to do, is say, you know what, we're going to have kind of like how in Marvel you had like different timelines and alternate universes. You can sort of have the same thing here, but what they're doing is okay, we're going to build everything out around everybody else, and then come back in with the big players that we have. So I think that they're going to keep Flash, going to keep Wonder Woman. I still haven't seen Shazam, but I heard that it did really well, and The Rock is going to be the villain in the sequel, and Aquaman did well, right? So you keep those guys. Now, in terms of Batman and Superman, let me start and do this Joker story. It's gonna talk about leading to possibly Robert Pattinson's Batman, and then we're probably gonna have somebody else be the older cast of Batman to appear in the movies with Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and etc. And then on the other aspect of things, let's have all these Suicide Squad, like the reboot and all the other movies, so that way we can introduce another Superman at some point and then bring him back in, so that you kind of have like chronology. I can never say that word right, but timeline wise,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything else around it is like built up so it's not lead back to.
Well, I think that Robert Pattinson with Jonah Hill is a really good combination. Like, I'm actually really excited about that.
Jeffrey Wright is going to be Commissioner Gordon. So I was like, oh my god,
Oh, who's going to be Commissioner Gordon?
Jeffrey Wright.
Oh, sorry, say it one more time.
Jeffrey Wright. He is. Do you watch Westworld?
No, I hated it. My wife finished a season and a half. I just couldn't do it.
I don't
Oh,
watch it either. I just know a lot of people know him from it.
wait, was he the guy that he was in Hunger Games?
Yes, yes.
He always plays kind of a nerdy scientist guy with thick glasses.
The glasses. Yep, yep. That's him.
Okay, okay, that looks really dope. Yeah, so they can probably pull it back together in some capacity, and I'm not disappointed in anything they're doing. I did hear that Henry Cavill might actually be headed to Marvel, which is going to be a huge like.
That would be crazy. I don't even know who he would play. My first thought would be maybe Wolverine, because that would be insane to go from.
Oh no,
Oh, yeah, oh, please tell
that
me.
was it. That was it. Yeah,
Oh, that was it. Really? Wow. Okay.
I mean that was the rumor.
Oh man, I don't want to get myself too excited about it now. I definitely want to wait to see what happens with it. But I think he would kill it because, in my opinion, he still should be Superman. He's probably the best Superman that at least I've been able to see, have kind of quote unquote grow up with. And I think they kind of tried to microwave everything when they saw, oh, Captain America Civil War, Iron Man versus Captain America. Let's do that with Batman v Superman. And it's like you don't need to. Just give us Superman 2, and then you can take a break and build up everything else, and then come back to Superman. But you know,
Well, I thought that you know, if Zack Snyder would have been able to finish Justice League, it might have been good. We'll never know because he had to leave because of a family tragedy. Um, but you know, Cyborg I thought was a really good character. I wanted to see more of him. I really liked him actually. Ah,
I want to see this movie. He's supposed to get one, but he didn't. And on the Zack Snyder end of things, I really did want to see him at least see everything through to see what it would have been like. But I was not a fan of him like breaking some things down and to be like, oh yeah, in the last Justice League movie, I would have had Batman and in jail, or he would have died in jail, like cold and alone, blah blah blah. And I was like, that's not okay.
yeah.
Never mind, bro. All right, you enjoy.
Yeah, well, I mean, he had. It's a comic book movie where people were like, I mean, Batman versus Superman. He's like, Batman's like branding people. It's like, what? What?
Yeah, I was like, what type of future universe is what is going on here? And you got like Superman just flying in, just lasering people. I was like, bro, what? Whoa, okay. But yeah,
um, I'm getting shot at by a plane. All right, I think I gotta call it, man. I gotta get back to work. Super cool. I'd love to have you jump back on at some point. If I can have a thesis statement here, when you said you were doing a little bit all over the place, I actually think that's what's working. Like the more I don't focus on Twitter in some ways, the more I grow. Which is, and you know, there's also kind of some new stuff that I've been a part of that's helped. But there's these people that just try to like blast out motivation. They're like, I'm a whatever, blah blah blah. It's like, well, people are bored with that because you don't seem real, and you know, I don't think anybody can possibly care about all your tweets, and I don't think most people care the fact that some of it's wasted space. Like you're scrolling, so what? It's like, oh, what if people don't like this? Well, what if people don't like it? I mean, they might like the next thing, or they at least know you're not faking it.
yeah. They're like, you know what? That one didn't hit, but I can see you're trying. So just keep going.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna shut this thing off. Melvin, come back on and tell us what you're doing next, man. Okay.
Definitely will, man. Thank you so much for having me on. It was a pleasure and a lot of fun.